This is your 420 Radio News for Thursday, March 6, 2014, brought to you by the National Cannabis Coalition. I'm Russ Belville. CNN documentary tracks medical marijuana refugees in Colorado from the Denver Post. CNN's Sanjay Gupta toured Colorado's medical marijuana outlets in a documentary last summer called Weed. Now, CNN and Gupta are back with Weed 2, tracking medical marijuana refugees to Colorado. He's not backing down on medical marijuana, Gupta wrote in a CNN online editorial Wednesday. He said, quote, "I'm doubling down." The new documentary, Weed 2, Cannabis Madness, Dr. Sanjay Gupta reports, premieres March 11th at 8 p.m. on CNN. This time, Gupta follows several families with sick kids as they travel to Colorado. Some have given up on ineffectual government-approved epilepsy drugs and are in search of the only thing that seems to work to reduce seizures, the low-THC Charlotte's Web strain of cannabis. In his online editorial saying he's doubling down on medical marijuana, Gupta writes, quote, "Marijuana is classified as a Schedule I substance, defined as the most dangerous drugs with no currently accepted medical use. Neither of those statements has ever been factual." He also talks about speaking with Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League, and says, quote, "Goodell also says the NFL is following the science that suggests marijuana may help recovery from concussions. Recently, I had the chance to tell him that the United States already holds a patent on medical marijuana for that very purpose. Patent number 6630507. Canada considers fines instead of charges for pot possession, from RT.com. Canada's Conservative government is considering loosening the country's drug legislation so as to ticket rather than lay charges against those in possession of small amounts of marijuana, according to Justice Minister Peter MacKay. The Justice Department is working on the draft bill, according to MacKay, who said on Wednesday that amending the current legislation was inspired by Canada's police chiefs, who have long been seeking softer regulation. Currently, those found guilty of possessing small amounts of marijuana can face up to 5 years in jail. The law is softer for first offenders. If convicted, they can be fined up to $1,000 or be given a 6-month jail term. The softer approach has been supported by Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Harper, much to the joy of the opposition Liberal Party, the leader of which, Justin Trudeau, has promised that if his party got majority in elections, it would have marijuana legalized. The Conservatives have traditionally been skeptical of pot decriminalization. Deep divide on marijuana policy apparent during congressional hearing, from the Denver Post. Although marijuana remains illegal federally, Colorado U.S. Attorney John Walsh said federal enforcement officials must work with their local counterparts to achieve common goals, such as keeping marijuana away from kids, even after states legalize marijuana for adult use. The hearing was the subcommittee's second under the title Mixed Signals, the administration's stance on marijuana, but rather than clarifying those signals, the hearings mostly illuminated why they exist. The official, Deputy Administrator Thomas Harrigan, reiterated that the DEA sees, quote, "no sound scientific, economic, or social reason to change our nation's marijuana policies," end quote, and said the DEA would, quote, "not abandon science and fact in favor of public opinion." That frustrated several subcommittee members, with Representative Jerry Connolly, a Democrat from Virginia, asking, quote, "would you agree that marijuana is certainly not in the same category as heroin in terms of its danger," end quote. When Walsh was asked whether marijuana should be reclassified, he demurred. "There is a process," he said. Doctors tell Iowa lawmakers medical marijuana is effective, from KCRG.com. The medical community doesn't dispute the benefits of cannabis and the relief it can provide for patients when other medicines don't help, experts told a Senate panel Wednesday. Thomas Karlstrom, a retired Des Moines neurosurgeon, told lawmakers that for patients suffering from seizures and other forms of chronic pain, including epilepsy, marijuana has proven to be therapeutic. Doctors joined advocates for legalization of medical marijuana Wednesday at the Iowa State House. Colorado barbershop sends pot smell message to customers, from 9news.com. Barber Hugo Corral has had enough of stinky customers that he's doing something bold about the problem. He told 9 News he is so frustrated with pot-smelling customers that he finally put a sign with a smelly message in his Hugo's Barber storefront in Greeley. Corral put the sign warning pot-smelling customers that they are not welcome because this is his business, not their home. This has been your 420 Radio News for Thursday, March 6, 2014. I'm Russ Belville. Transcripts of 420 Radio News are available exclusively at the National Cannabis Coalition. Visit ncc420.com to download today. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.